I am here with the lovely Layla. She has been a client of mine for, I guess, a year.
Almost a year. Yeah.
Woo! And it has been so much fun getting to know her. I am Haley, a hypnotherapist, NLP practitioner, and tapping coach. I help people get unstuck and move forward. And so today we're going to talk to Layla about how she got unstuck, what she came to me for, and just our experience
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. So we're going to start with me trying to explain this in layman's terms, but let's just talk about hypnotherapy and kind of how it works. So we're going to start with, we're going right over just a little bit. Okay. Brain waves. There's 4 different sets of brain waves. Beta is the brain wave you're in just in conscious state when you're awake. Alpha and theta are the brain waves you're in when you are sleeping, or just like when you first start to come out of sleep and you're kind of a little groggy, you can tell stuff's going on, but you're not quite out of sleep. Delta is like your deep, deep sleep. And the area of hypnosis where you want to be, where all the magic happens, is alpha and theta. So when Haley gets you in here for a session, these are the 2 areas she's touching on. So that kind of covers the brain waves. You want to go to this one now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put this back here.
Now this, you're gonna have to help me hold that just to make sure. Okay. Right over here, conscious mind. So this is really interesting. This part right here is 5% is your conscious mind state when you're awake, moving around, everything you do during the day. The 95% is your subconscious. And what separates these two is a filter. I almost think of it as like a barrier because it, when you're walking around during the day and you're having suggestions come in and stuff, it will bounce off of this filter. Like things are not necessarily go right into your subconscious state. In the subconscious state is things like, think of it as like the foundation of who you are as a person. Like it can be good stuff and bad stuff. The bad stuff would be like limiting beliefs or things that you believe that are lies or programming, your fears, the different perceptions you have on life. So the idea behind what Haley does is she opens up this filter slash barrier and you can put good stuff in your subconscious so that it changes how you behave when you are in your conscious state. So is that good?
Yeah.
How we okay.
Yeah, that's
All right.
awesome. And when she was talking about the filter right here, let me give you an example. Someone, when I was younger, they said, "Oh, blondes are so dumb." That data came in, and I thought, "Oh, I guess I'm dumb." And it distorted, either generalize, distort, or delete the information. And I distorted it. And I thought everybody else that was blonde wasn't dumb. But for some reason, I thought I was dumb because they had said that. Maybe up until I was 26, I thought I was dumb. Until one day I had colored my hair and I had this aha like, why did you color your hair brown? Because you wondered if you would be more smart. Like it just dawned on me the reason why I was coloring my hair was so that I could be smarter. I realized how weird and crazy of an idea that was. I was able to overcome it. And now I have no problem because I feel like I'm smart.
Right here.
This is the gateway, the filter, the critical faculty. And that's what Layla talked about. You did so good.
Okay.
She understands this stuff really well.
I came to Haley. It was, if I'm being honest, I was not sure whether this was going to work. So I showed up. I think my sister said, "Hey, there's a hypnotherapist that deals with weight loss and like hypnotizing you to help you with weight loss." And I'm like, "Well, I've tried everything else. I'll try this." So I came into her and I came for one session and I honestly, can we talk a little bit about what the actual session is? Because I wasn't sure what to,
like that.
like when I came in, the only thing I'd ever done with hypnosis was seen what I guess is called entertainment hypnosis.
A stage hypnosis.
So, I went and paid a ticket, sat in an auditorium, watched the he's got the little thing that he's dangling in front of you. And he's like, "You're getting very sleepy." That's the only thing I had known about hypnosis. I had no idea that there was more of like a clinical slash medical type area that did hypnosis. So I wasn't sure what to expect. I got here, she kind of just lays you down on a couch. She has you stare at a spot on the ceiling. You start to get a little sleepier, but you're completely awake. And I think that's an important thing
Mm.
to talk about because I think the perception is they're going to come in here and lose time and have no idea what happened to them.
And lose control.
Yes. And that is
Mhm.
absolutely, I have never been here with Haley where I don't know every moment that happened. It's literally like I have my eyes closed. I may have come out of sleep and she's talking to me and I'm answering. I can fully understand everything that she's saying. I'm completely with it, but I'm just a little snoozy. I came in and we talked a little bit about why I was here. That I mean, I've struggled with my weight my entire life. I just wanted, I had tried everything. I mean, everything. And the truth is, I just needed somebody to do something behaviorally wise with me for my brain because I did come in here. I will say the limiting belief is like I was almost like, I hope this works. Like
Mhm.
I really didn't think I had a lot of control over weight loss. It was more just like, I hope whatever she does, I get lucky and it works this time. It felt like a
Mhm.
luck thing almost.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's another thing I'm going to try.
yeah, yeah. And I'm trying to remember what I had you start with. Okay, so sugar is my issue,
Mhm.
was my issue, not so much anymore, was my issue. Anything with frosting. And I think, in fact, that's a funny story. I came in and said, I want you to make me hate sugar. And she says, I'm not going to do that. You'll never eat another piece of fruit again. And I was like, oh, is it that specific? And she's like, yeah, I can't say you'll hate sugar. You won't eat anything with sugar. So then we got more specific and I was like, okay, I want you to tell me I don't like anything with frosting. Because I was like, oh, I didn't know we had to get that into it. But truthfully, so I think the first session I actually told you to tell me I don't like anything with frosting.
And candy.
And candy, because I was like, those two things are never good for you. I could give up all of that. I left here, I literally walked out the door and was like, I don't know if it worked. I mean, honestly, if I'm being honest, I was like, I don't know if it'll work. And I'm trying to remember, it's been a year. My memory isn't great, but um, that might be the next session, memory. But anyway, I walked out of here and oh, I think I was going through the grocery store like the next day. And there's a certain donut that I liked. And I looked at it and I was kind of like, and then I was like, oh my gosh, did I just to a donut? Like that. And I think I texted you right away and said, I think something happened. It
Mhm.
was crazy. So,
And I also remember another thing.
okay, tell me.
Yeah, it was the same. So you went to work
Uh-huh.
and you texted me about the
Candy
drawer.
dish. Yeah, there's a candy drawer that I cannot, okay, could not leave alone. It was one of those like, okay, anybody have a candy dish at work or a drawer where you're embarrassed how many times you've gone out to get in it because other people can see? Like it was one of those. And I was embarrassed how many times I'd gone out. And then I made it a full day. I got in my car and called you and said, I never visited the candy drawer today. And it wasn't even a before when I've tried weight loss stuff, I'm very aware that I'm trying to do better and very aware that I'm struggling.
And you almost feel like you're missing out
Yes.
because you're depriving yourself
Yes.
of something
Yes.
that you really do want.
Yes. Like I'd be like, oh my gosh, I made it a whole day without it. But it was literally counting down the minutes before I left because I was very aware there was a candy drawer there. I hopped in the car and was like, and then it occurred to me that I had not visited the candy drawer. It wasn't something I thought about all day. So
Subtle.
yes, I will say that this is the thing that I've really liked about hypnosis is I don't feel like I have to try so hard.
Oh, good.
Like it's just kind of it
It's
just
so
kind of
nice.
happened. Like it's so crazy that you can get something into your subconscious and then all of a sudden the struggle tends to go away.
It's definitely less intense each time, and it gets better and better.
And I think you almost get better at hypno. Like me as the person going under gets better at how to do it. So
Yeah, well, you get used to it.
yeah.
And then you go faster and
Yeah,
faster
because I think
and
the first
deeper
time
and
it probably
deeper.
took you 20 minutes to get me there. And now I'm like, okay, got it. Yep. Like it's
Well,
so
and there's something about trusting
yeah.
hypnotherapists.
Yeah. So that's how my first session went. I originally came to her for weight loss, thinking this was only a weight loss thing. this is the part that I think is the magic of
Mm.
hypnosis, because I did not realize how many things I could actually use this for.
Right.
So I came to Haley one day. My mom is a really difficult person, and I am struggling with keeping a relationship with her. And the day that I came to her, I was actually coming for weight loss.
Mhm.
I walked in, it was just a matter of fact. Haley's like, "How are you doing?" And I just kind of made an off comment of, ugh, I really struggle with my mom. This is, it's hard to maintain a relationship, something along those lines. And thinking I was just telling her, kind of this is why I'm in a bad mood. And it kind of morphed into Haley kind of like went, let's talk about that for a minute. I think you kind of have this thing that I love about you, that this insight that people like me that are just going through the motions don't necessarily pick up on, that there's something that's bugging me more than I realize it's bugging me. For me, it was just, I woke up and it was a crappy day and I didn't like what was going through my head about my mom, but oh well, I'm stuck with this. I got to go to my hypnotist for weight loss. And I get here and she's like, let's stop and pause and talk about that a little. And so I said a couple of things, still not realizing where my appointment was going. And by the time we were done, she was like, let's do something with that. The memories and stuff that you have that are not pleasant, we can kind of neutralize those so that you don't feel as negative about this relationship as you did. And we didn't touch on weight loss at all that day. And I woke up the next day feeling better. I mean, does it solve that relationship problem? No, but how I approach it in my mind is now a lot differently. And I feel a lot more peaceful about where that situation is.
And it
So,
only took that one session for you to feel
yeah,
more peaceful. We
yeah,
only worked on that one time.
yeah, we did only work on that one time. So that was one of the other things. You've helped me with pain in my back.
Yeah.
So that was and you're gonna have to explain the visualization stuff,
Okay.
because that's a little bit different than just the hypnosis. You've actually done that to me while I was awake, but I did show up one day and I'm like, my back hurts. I've got 11 muscles that are inactivated and I just had them activated and it's not working. And I just, because it was another, how are you? And I'm like, my back hurts. And then boom, we're doing a visualization session where you're having me imagine what the pain looks like, feels like. And you're going to have to kind of explain what happens in the brain when you force that visualization. But it did help. That was one of the ones where I left that day. My sister lives a couple of doors down from Haley. I was walking back to my sister's and got 3 houses down and went, this is the first time my back hasn't hurt. So that literally was instantaneous. I knew within 20 seconds of walking out your door that it had worked.
Well, it's really amazing because a lot of the times we have pain, and sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's emotional, sometimes it's both. And in this particular situation, it was more emotional than anything. And so we were able to help her visualize and access the creative parts of her brain so that she could allow her subconscious mind to make it better, to see it in a different light, and to say, hey, I give myself permission to let this go.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good one. I'm working on now. I don't sleep well. My brain runs like crazy. And she is currently helping me with what we're trying to do is, I told her the other day, I'm like, can you just tell my brain it doesn't need to process information at 4 a.m.? It can do that between 10 and 2 when I'm asleep. And she's like, yeah, I can do that. And she told it only one night though. It's that specific. She's like, tonight you are going to process between 10 and 2, and you are not going to wake up at 4. Um, and at 6:30, I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, because I think I told you, I'm okay at waking up at 6:30. So at 6:30, I woke up and I about died. And I'm like, we need to do something with that.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think Haley has really helped me with, and I think a lot of people fall into this is why I'm going to say this. I think when you're not trained in this particular area and you don't realize how powerful your brain really is and how much control you have over what you believe, you fall into this little mindset. Like for me, I'll be like, oh, this bugs me, but I'm just stuck with this. Like it's just part of my life. It's who I am. And, whether it's I believe I was genetically born with it, or it's just a belief that I have, or whatever it is, I feel like this is who I am and this is what I was dealt. you know what I mean, dealt in life.
Mhm.
So I've noticed, I've started to come up with things like I'm now on a maintenance program with Haley where I come in and just, regular intervals where I come in and just have her help me with whatever I have noticed that I feel like I'm stuck on.
Mhm. You're so
So, but I
aware
didn't, but
now.
yeah, I am much more aware, but I
Mhm.
didn't, that's the thing is now I realize when I'm stuck. Whereas before I was just like, this is just what my life is.
Well, and I think also when we're aware and we have such judgment about it,
Uh-huh.
then we don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
But if we can take it from a fresh perspective of, I'm just getting curious about this and
Kids don't want
observe
to
this.
necessarily, they're not ready for the change or they're scared of the change. But when you say curious, it's more like we're just going to look at it. We don't
We're just gonna
necessarily have to
look at
do
it.
anything with it right now. Let's just look and see what it is. I
Yeah.
think there's something to that because then it doesn't feel like so, oh my gosh, I've got to change all these things about me. I'm just going to
Mhm.
look and see what it is. So I do feel like now I'll be out somewhere and I'll notice, oh, I've had this same thought 3 times this week. This might be something to talk to Haley about. Because I mean, if it's positive thoughts, I'm fine with those. But if it's something where I don't feel great about it or I feel really negative about it and it keeps coming up in my head, that is like perfect criteria for hypnosis
Mhm.
material, I guess, for because there's something your brain's bringing it up because it's bugging you. So there
Right.
might be something that you can change back down into this subconscious where this just needs a little tweak,
Hmm.
get past the barrier, change the way you feel about it, and then you're back on track.
Absolutely.
So
Isn't she fabulous?
I like I said, guys, I've tried so many things, like so many things in weight loss. And then I've done life coaching. I've done all these different things and learned all these different practices. But the thing that I really love about the hypnosis is it's easy. Like you show up, you do a session, and then all of a sudden, like your brain just is like, oh yeah, now we think about that differently. We're going to do something different with that. And I'm like, okay.
And we get to do it when we're relaxed in a
Yeah,
deep state
yeah.
of relaxation.
Yeah. In fact, you have to tell me now, you're going to wake up and yeah, because I've gone home before and felt like I had a massage. It was that comforting. And then I'm like, hey, I've got to be productive. I need you. So now she says, you're going to be productive today. You're going to wake up and
Mhm.
get stuff done. And I'm like, okay. And then I do.
I mean, what is one of the things that has helped you maybe like visualize and not just come and have me help you, but then you also go and do your work
Oh,
as well?
yes.
I always give them tasks.
Yes.
Okay.
So some of the things that like, because I actually am now starting to try to do this a little bit like right when I wake up in the morning, if I'm not completely awake, but like I'm aware there's people moving around in the house and stuff, that's when you're right in, that's probably alpha, right?
Alpha, yeah,
Or
alpha
theta.
is where you are when you just barely wake up and you're not all the way
You're
there.
not all the way there. So
Mhm.
um I have one of the things that she does while you're here that's worked well for me is when she's first putting you under and she's trying to get you relaxed, she's like, pay attention to your feet. Which foot feels heavier? Which hand feels heavier? And you almost like sink into the bed just an inch more when you think about that. So I'm like paying attention to that. That has really helped. So I will pay attention to that because I think that the whole idea behind that is it just lets you go a little bit deeper back
Yeah.
into theta, right?
Right, because if you've
Okay.
got your phone and you're going for your phone, then you are out of
You're out of it.
alpha.
Yeah.
You're in beta and it's too late. So
Yeah.
you can,
So I do that. And then you do have me walk down like 5 steps of stairs. We've done two things. We've done the steps of stairs just to, as each step I go a little bit deeper into relaxation. So I'll literally imagine I'm going downstairs that are in my favorite color and I'm slowly going deeper in. You've also done a thing with me with the weight loss where you're like, as you go down each step, you shed 5 pounds. It's literally melting off of you. And I have used that both in the morning and I do it even, I'm not obviously in hypnosis at the gym, but I will be at the gym and I'm sweating and I'm thinking, that's just the fat dripping off me that Haley told me about. So it's almost like this visualization that each day I'm getting smaller.
yes.
So that's been it's there's something about you've had me imagine me at my goal weight and I'm like literally like what outfit would you wear? What like so that your brain can get a visualization of that. And before I came here, I didn't even feel like that was achievable. And now I can actually see what that looks like.
And there's so
So
much power in visualizing what we
yes,
truly want and desire.
yeah, yeah. I didn't realize how strong that was until I came here. I just, it was always just like an idea in your head, but you
Mhm.
didn't really have a picture to go with it. And now,
And looking at the details, like, ooh, I see the definition in my
yeah,
abs. I see that dent right there in
yeah,
my
yeah,
tricep. I see my knees,
yeah.
going in
Yeah,
now.
that was really good stuff. So now, like now in the mornings, a lot of times if I wake up and I can tell I'm not out of it, I will go through positive affirmations. I take myself down as far as I can with like the weight of my hands and going down the steps. And then when I feel like I'm there and I can kind of tell where I'm there now, after doing this a year, I can tell when I'm in the zone as if
In
I'm,
the
oh yeah,
zone. Yeah.
when I'm in the zone. Then I will go through, you are going to have a very positive day. You are going to
Mhm.
exercise. Oh, that's what we're working on right now. It's like I'm telling her to tell me I love exercise. I love weightlifting. I don't love weightlifting. I need to love weightlifting. And now that's what we're working on
Working
currently
on that.
is that I will love weightlifting. So I'm doing those things in the morning just because I come here with her and I get the real deep, like
Mhm.
detailed session, but then I can take it and almost do little mini sessions in the morning with myself
Yeah.
for on the days when I don't see you.
This has been so fun to
Okay.
visit with you and talk to you. If someone is even a little bit
Curious.
curious, what would you tell them about hypnosis?
I would say set your judgments aside. It is not about only entertainment because that's what most people believe.
Mhm.
Um, I would say book at least one or two sessions before you really make a deciding factor on it. And the reason I say that is I'm all about like super fast results. And this is one of those things where within, I would say anywhere from 20 seconds of walking out of your door to 2 days if it's working.
Hmm.
Like that's one thing, I mean, there's weight loss pills, there's all this kinds of stuff that you can take, and it takes several weeks. But this has been one of those things where I literally could tell the behavior in my head was different and it's almost immediate. So if it's something you're even remotely curious about, I would say book her one or two sessions. You're going to know within one or two sessions if this is going to work for you. That's the thing I really liked about it is it's quick.
Hmm.
It's quick.
How important is it for us to have an open mind about something like this?
Um, I mean, I do think it needs to be somewhat open, but like I said, when I came here, I'm not sure I was like completely on board.
That's true.
I
You
did
did have a
show
bit
it,
of a limiting belief.
yeah, I
Mm.
mean, I kind of walked in going, this might be hocus pocus. I don't know. Like I was just kind of desperate to try anything because I felt like I had tried
Yeah,
everything. And,
everything.
I mean, I've been heavy since really sixth grade. So it was, and now I'm like literally the lowest weight I think I've been in years.
Woohoo!
So yeah, yeah, I would say do one or two sessions. You'll know. I mean, the proof is in it. You'll know as soon as you'll walk into a grocery store the next day and be like, oh, that's different than what I normally do,
Mhm.
you know?